Happy Monday and welcome to the Beat of Sports. Marc Daniels. Chris Vasquez occupies the control room over there. And new week. And, you know, Chris, we got college football. Thursday, actually, is the first game of the new season. Week 0 begins Thursday. Florida State playing on Saturday. And this week kind of feels as if we're turning the page from summer to real football.
Football's here, baby.
You know?
And
there's a good chance next year that week 0 is going to be week 1, and you get a full slate of games. But anyway, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm good. It's a new week, and off we go. I said this in the bridge. I do want to repeat this. I thank so many people that have been so kind in reaching out to me, either directly, including people that I didn't even have my cell number, and through emails. I know people text here. I mentioned my mom passed last week. We had her funeral yesterday, and just a wonderful event down in South Florida. So I'm just not able to get back and thank everybody. But please accept this to all that I so appreciate all the wonderful messages that people have sent. And I really appreciate it. And I know my sister and I are grateful for the love of so many folks, including people that never met my mom but learned about my mom through me. So I thank people for sending that stuff the last several days. So very, very kind of people. Appreciate that. And yeah, we had the funeral yesterday, and I was telling Kelly during the ceremony, inside it rained, poured, thunder, loud rain. As soon as it was time to go outside to lay mom to rest, rain stopped.
Beautiful.
And about 5 minutes after we left, it rained again.
Beautiful.
So, yeah, whatever you may believe in. So, yeah. And I had some wonderful people show up yesterday. Had a couple of moments. I had no idea that person was, but I'm grateful they were there. No big guys. Not
time and place.
Not
Time
a mom's
and place.
funeral. Big guy. A couple times, plate's pretty full, huh? Really? Helping yourself, huh? Didn't know it was an all-you-can-eat one today, huh? Just I'm going to take a little bit and share with others, huh?
Going back for seconds, are we?
Yeah. Really? Cookies again. Interesting. Uh-huh. Oh, tapping the coffee. Just a little bit more coffee and 3 more cookies, huh? I don't know what's going on here, pal, okay? I may not know who you are, but I got my eye on you right now, okay? Oh, one of those, huh? Yeah. Pick up your plate, okay? Oh, I'm not the wait staff today.
That is, I can't stand people that do that. Just
pick up the plate.
Leaving the trash everywhere. Like, come on, man. What are we doing?
Yeah. By the way, you know what just happened 4 minutes ago?
Shedeur Sanders named the starter?
No. We got a birthday in the Big 12 on play-by-play, guys.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
So are you going to be, 9th, 10th in line to say happy birthday?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'll wait a little bit. Wait a little bit. But I am kind of proud. My man Brian Estridge at TCU, after I kind of jokingly said, hey, what's with the 1:30 in the morning text, because guys on the West Coast, he did say, it's John Morris, is the really nice guy at Baylor. He says, happy birthday to John Morris. Note, Marc Daniels, I waited until 8:30 to send out the text. So at least I, you know. Although, if you're in, 8:30 his time, because it would be 6:41 right now in Arizona. So.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
That's nice of him.
Yeah, I'm not responding yet. Ideally, I would just respond directly to John Morris. But then if you don't go on so I guess Mark didn't wish him a happy birthday.
Mark's such a jerk. Don't be that guy. Respond to the group.
Oh, man. Anyway, a lot of stuff to get to from the weekend that was, a lot of football stuff. Had a little bit of not an argument, a little bit of back and forth with Andy Staples at an event on Saturday night.
Oh, okay. Do tell.
I will a little bit.
Oh, way to tease.
It was oh, really? Had one of those. Really?
About to come to blows?
No. Andy's really smart. I just think I had a good point that he quickly, I think the rest of the room was agreeing with me.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun. I'll talk about that event coming up in a little bit. We got other football stuff. Maybe sometime this morning, the breaking news of who the Browns are going to start at quarterback will come out.
Sure.
Maybe. Then again, maybe not. All right. All that and much more coming up on the Monday program. Here's everybody's favorite segment.
It's almost like an unwritten rule that when you become a father, you become king of the bad dad jokes.
What is Forrest Gump's password? One Forrest one.
Are you ready to laugh? We know at least one person is. Here's CB's dad joke of the day.
That's so great.
Mark, I tried this one out on my wife this morning, and my daughter gave me a huge laugh. Didn't know what she was laughing at, but she laughed very hard.
Okay.
Did you know I once dated a homeless woman? Mm-hmm.
Be careful here, Chris. Be really
No,
careful.
I once dated a homeless woman, and things got pretty serious. She asked me to move out with her. Because she's always moved out.
I'm going to sit this one out.
Listening to Marc Daniels and the Beat of Sport.
Couple things. Is it good to respond now? I'd be 12th to respond to John Moore's birthday.
Out of 16?
15. His birthday.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, probably a good time to respond.
Really simple. Happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday, big
That's
guy.
it. Yeah. Big 12 text, John. Got color analysts, engineers, producers, Someone else going to win a bowling tournament again. They'll put them up there. By the way, before we get to some of the football stuff,
Don't knock the bowling tournament.
do you want to share what happened to you since you last were here?
Sure, why not?
Come in, and this dude is inked up.
Yeah, show it on the stream real quick here.
Oh. So, go ahead. So that's your daughter.
Yep.
And her birth date. And then you've got a cowboy star.
Got the cowboy star, the Florida State spear. I got Florida there in the background, the state of Florida there in the background. Yeah, a little bit of my daughter, my mom tied in together. Very happy with it.
What led to the decision?
I've been wanting to get a tattoo, something with my daughter for a while. Didn't know what I wanted. And just kind of messing around with Google Gemini, the AI search engine or whatever. And
wait, what?
Yeah.
For what? Tattoo ideas?
Yeah, you just put in some prompts and it spits out pictures, and I like this one. And everyone I talked to that had tattoos are like, oh, there's no way that can be done. Like AI pictures, like very detailed and everything.
I did the same thing. I got the AL wildcard standings. So I'm going to get that tattoo today.
You can do that if you want.
Okay, so and so it's settled on that?
I mean, I had to change some things around, but yeah, it's the one I decided to go with.
Okay.
I want to get more. Tattoos are addicting. Once you start, it's hard to stop. So I want to get more done.
Like Reese's Pieces.
Yeah. No, was it Pringles? Once you pop, the fun don't stop.
Yeah. Okay.
So I want to get
when
more.
Was that done? Yesterday?
No, this was done Friday.
Friday. How long you got to keep the wrapping on?
I got to keep the cover on for 5 days, and then the guy said to put unscented lotion 3 times a day.
How long did it take?
About 4 hours.
Really? Did it hurt? Come on.
It didn't.
Did it hurt?
No.
It hurt.
No.
It hurt.
No.
Sure.
It burns.
Burned.
Burns.
What'd your wife think?
You don't get anything with my name on it. Everything you love, but not me.
Got a valid point.
So I'm very happy with it.
Okay. As long as you're happy with it. All right. Fine.
More to come.
More to come.
More to come.
Wow.
Don't know what yet, though.
What next? A Vancouver Canuck logo?
My Carolina Hurricanes, Stanley Cup champions.
Okay. Well, good. I mean, if you like it, that's all that matters.
Yes, sir.
All right. First got inked up.
Yeah.
Inked
When's
up.
Marc Daniels getting a tat?
Huh?
When's Marc Daniels getting a tat?
That me?
That was you.
All right, let's get to some NFL stuff here of the weekend that was. What I don't know when we'll hear something, but let's play this and then you can share some thoughts.
I mean, I didn't have no reaction. I think the biggest thing is I think you guys know too, and I think the whole world knows it has nothing to do about the performance. It's a little bit personal than that. So I think it's a disrespectful thing. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep whatever I feel with me and my family internally on how I feel about that. And yeah, just move on.
But don't you think, Deshaun, that winning and playing better would eliminate some of that booing?
Last time I played on this field, I tore my Achilles. And that same fan base, they cheered when I got hurt. So does that have to do with, what does that have to do with anything about performance? When a person get hurt, especially for your own city, and they cheer.
Does any of that make you regret coming here?
No, I don't regret anything in my life. You know, I think the Lord put me through situations for a reason. So I don't regret anything at all.
I think there might be one or two or 30 regrets.
I don't. I'll disagree in the sense I'm not quite sure he views it that way.
When
I mean, I said to Kelly in the bridge, we're a forgiving society when people believe that you're regretful, that you're sorry for decisions that you made, and that you show humility in the sense of, I'm trying to be a better person. I've learned from decisions that I've made. I work every single day at it, and I hope you will allow me the opportunity to win over your support. And I've got to do it by performing on the field, and that those actions, the way I conduct myself, will allow you to perhaps change the view that you had of me. But he comes with a level of arrogance of almost like, I didn't do anything wrong. This is on you guys. And truly, when he's asked the question, do you regret coming here? I believe his answer of no, not because of any religious or spiritual thing. He's like, dude, I took $250 million
fully guaranteed.
that the owner guaranteed. Who wouldn't come here? You can boo me all you want. My money's guaranteed.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the question. Can Todd Monken name him starting quarterback? I mean, there's a performance side of this. He's not the same guy that he once was. He'll never be.
He's not, but is he better than Shedeur Sanders?
Okay, let me counter by going, does that matter? Not for the next 17 regular season games. Does it matter for the future of the Browns? Their future's not in Deshaun Watson. And as much as you've got feelings about Shedeur Sanders.
Is he their future?
No, Chris. But
okay.
Wait. But Watson's not. And I think for Todd Monken, and remember, there are 32 of these jobs in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Very few get a chance to turn down an opportunity because they're so confident they'll get another one.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of guys take the head coaching job when it's in front of them because there's so few of them.
Right.
You sometimes inherit the mess that somebody else made.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, it's the mess that Watson made himself and that Jimmy Haslam allowed to become of their quarterback position. So if you're Monken, you're not getting fired after year one.
No.
So you got to deal with the crap that you've been handed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Todd Monken wanted to begin his Cleveland Browns coaching career with Deshaun Watson as his quarterback?
My counter again is
No. Just answer that one, yes or no.
probably not. No.
Do you think he wanted to begin his career with Shedeur Sanders there as well?
Probably not. No.
But he didn't have that option. He could have convinced him, can you take somebody else in the draft? But I think he's like, look, I'll coach what you gave me. I don't think this is our future, but I'll coach what you gave me. They didn't go get anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what I'm saying is the world's not ideal, but I think Monken would be like, I'll live with the kid and see if I got anything, because likely we're going to be in the market in 27 in the draft, but at least I'm not carrying that anchor. Because as much as you dislike Shedeur, I think Watson's a far bigger distraction than Shedeur Sanders.
We're, 3 years removed now from the whole massage parlor incidents with Deshaun Watson?
Okay.
He hasn't played a full season. He's played 6 games, 7 games in his 3 years with Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
He's obviously not what he was.
Right.
But given everything, he's still a better option. Whether he's your future or not, he's still the better option than Shedeur Sanders. And I guess we're just completely ignoring the other quarterback on the roster in Dylan Gabriel.
He was 0 for 1. They've already given you their answer about Dylan Gabriel.
So we got Deshaun Watson.
Listen, by the way, you may be right. He may name Deshaun Watson the starting quarterback. If you go back and watch Monken, he's like, you want him to stop booing and play better. He may be telling you he's going to play and get a chance to get back. I just think that there's nothing good about him on the Browns. There's nothing good about it. And I think to some degree, Tua didn't have the baggage of what Watson had, okay? Mm-hmm. To some degree, and you and I went back and forth on that, I think there's a time that you just got to say, we got to move on. We got to eat it. We got to eat it. We're going to eat the money that we're paying him. We're going to eat it, and he's got to go.
So I just looked that up.
10 o'clock hour, WY, Orlando, WJR, HD2, Cocoa Beach. Yeah.
If they were to cut him, Deshaun Watson, after this season, it's $127 million dead cap. If they designate him post June 1, it's like 80-something million. And I guess the Browns did purchase insurance on Deshaun's contract that will give them.
Maybe Jimmy Haslam got it from Mark Walter.
that will give them some like cap credits.
Yeah.
But either way, I mean, they're going to be on the hook for at least 80
They're on the
something.
hook. The Dolphins are on the hook. I just think that there's a locker room that probably has this vibe like he's not helping.
We
He's
don't
not
know.
helping.
We don't know what they think.
You're right about that. But I don't think there's anything positive that he's going to help the Browns with. Do you think the Browns are going to be good this year with him?
No.
So what are we doing?
Again, what's the difference between starting Deshaun Watson or Shedeur Sanders?
Because I'm
Neither of
ridding
them are good.
myself. I'm ridding myself of what I believe is a distraction.
How? He's still on the roster.
Get lost. Just get out of here. Just go. You're going to get your money. Just go. Go.
So what? Just not even have him dress?
I don't think there's any benefit to any of that stuff. And Todd Monken may name him the starting quarterback in the next hour or two, and he can say that I was wrong. I'm just saying I think they're better served by just parting ways. I mean, do you think if he's the backup quarterback that's good for them too?
If they haven't done anything with him, I think he gives them the best chance to win, regardless of whatever he's gone through, whatever the Browns.
Okay, guys, ask you football question. Forget your dislike of Shedeur. What has Deshaun Watson shown you?
Neither of them have shown me anything.
No, I didn't ask you that. I said put Sanders aside. I'm asking about Deshaun Watson football. What gives you any indication that they're better with him? He can't stay healthy. Clearly has this perception of who he is. How is that healthy for them? I mean, here's where you and I will agree. I think Sanders is better for them. Not long term, but I'll say this, and you and I again will disagree here. If you give him a chance to play and prepare him week after week after week, at least I'm going to get an idea. I'll see if I have something, and maybe it's week 4, it's week 7, it's week 10. Either I conclude no, or I may have something. Doesn't mean they're out of the market for a quarterback in 27, but I just think it's a better spot to be in than to play the Deshaun Watson game on a fan base that doesn't want him, and he's not their future.
For as meaningless as preseason games are, I think Shedeur Sanders really hurt himself by not going out for a coin toss. You were named captain for the week. You don't understand what comes with that? It's so small, but it shows attention to detail, which apparently Shedeur does not have.
Right. And I'm not telling you that he's about to become a Hall of Fame quarterback. You and I may disagree on some things regarding Shedeur Sanders, and I accept the way you feel about him. I think the Browns are bad either way. I just think that they're probably a little bit better without Deshaun Watson.
Look, Shedeur Sanders started 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the final 8 games.
Yep.
Of the Brown season last season.
Right, with a coaching staff that knew they were getting fired, and even Kevin Stefanski in his interviews afterwards just said it was brutal the last couple months. I'm not excusing his performance. I'm just telling you that I think there's something to it with a staff that knows they're getting blown out, which likely they knew before the season started.
There was nothing that Shedeur showed last year in those 8 games that made me think the Browns are better off.
Chris, you and I will go all day back and forth, and I'm willing to accept that we disagree on some things. I'm not telling you that he's one of the 10 best quarterbacks of the NFL, but there's nothing that I could say that's going to make you say, well, okay, he deserves a little bit more of a chance. I think you are agreeing with me that the future is not in Cleveland or anywhere for Deshaun Watson.
The future Browns quarterback is not on their roster right now.
That may be the only thing you and I agree on. I just don't think that it helps Cleveland in any way if he's still there.
If it doesn't, then they would have moved on from him already, but they haven't.
That's because that's a stubborn owner.
So
it's a stubborn owner, and maybe the head coach can't convince the owner to make that change.
So then that tells me Deshaun Watson will be the starter.
Maybe. I don't know. By the way, let me play this clip. This is Mike LaFleur, the head coach of the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think the future preseason games are in jeopardy? Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Play this clip.
some of the data. I'm sure you guys can probably get it somehow, but we did at the owners meetings, they talked about joint practices versus playing in the preseason versus not playing in the preseason. And I can't quote it because I don't know the numbers exact off the head, but it was like, if you get 2 joint practices in, that's the equivalent of playing the 2 preseason, because it is an amped up environment. You're not tackling, but it's the amped up environment that you get that for some reason the data says if you end up having those joint practices, you have a less injury risk going into the first 4 weeks of the season. Is that by coincidence? I don't know. I'm just going off of what smarter people are telling us. And then if you're not doing the joint practice, okay, you're doing one, then maybe they should play in one game. If you're not doing any joint practices, which basically no one does anymore, then they need to play a certain amount if you want to, follow this model. So again, everyone's going to take their own, deal with it and go from there.
I don't even know what he really said, but
I don't know either. By the way, Deshaun Watson is the name starter.
he was?
Yep.
Okay. Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
I think we can both agree neither will play even half a season.
Neither will play half a season, meaning what?
Deshaun Watson may play 6, 7 games. Shador may come in, play 8 games.
Yeah, that's fine. More and more teams are bigger proponents of the joint practice. And
Saquon was not a fan.
who?
Saquon Barkley.
But it happens, and because unlike college football, everything's open to the public. Okay, when you get a joint practice, fans love it because ones play ones. Now in the preseason, we don't get that in preseason football. So the joint practice, in many ways, he says this. Whatever he's trying to quote, I don't even know what he's trying to quote. I mean, maybe there is NFL information about that, but it all comes down to: do you want to keep buying that ticket to go to these games? Like I joked about the Giants dominating the Dolphins. I mean, the Dolphins still could have gotten more than 3 first downs. They didn't play 4 offensive linemen. I mean, what's the point?
I had asked Tuck this last week. I think it might have been off air. If there is a future that has a preseason, and if you eliminate the preseason, you kind of don't, like all these fringe roster guys, you don't know what you're going to get.
Okay, but I guess I'm getting to the joint practice. Are you getting as much out of that as you are sometimes in these games? I don't know if we'll eliminate them completely. Clearly, when we go to 18 games, we're going to 2 preseason games at the most. At the most. And I just kind of wonder, like, I mean, I guess because you sell tickets, the NFL's never going to get rid of all of it. But everybody does multiple joint practices for the preseason. And sometimes they do it for 2 of the 3 weeks that they play a game. And coaches keep telling them they get far more of that. Do the injury numbers show that if you do that, you don't get as many guys hurt? I don't know.
Well, and
look how Ashton Jenney got hurt yesterday.
Well, and I do think there's a little bit of a risk because if you do have some of those guys who are fighting for either a starting spot or just trying to make a roster, and you have your ones on the other side, these guys may come in, take out a knee, maybe lay a harder hit than you'd expect in a practice and get someone hurt just because they're trying to make a name for themselves.
I know, but I mean, injuries happen. Again, look what happened to the Raiders. I mean, they happen in a variety of ways. Do you think if you told fans tomorrow, just forget about players, coaches, if you told fans tomorrow, 18 regular season games and no preseason games,
they wouldn't care.
Right. They don't care. They don't care. 18 preseason games, back to start Labor Day weekend, and no preseason games. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm good. Sign me up. I mean,
why is it that we do preseason games in the NFL but not college?
There's a lot of reasons in college just for the insanity of it. Remember this, man. They used to play 6 preseason games. 6. And do 2-a-days and go 3 weeks before they played a preseason game. I mean, the games change, and I think we understand why. I just think, and every person chooses to spend their hard-earned money as they choose to. And the way a season ticket packages in the NFL, you sometimes have no choice, okay? But watching some of this stuff, it's really bad.
It's hard to watch, and I do think this is a translation from all of these guys jumping from program to program to program to program to program in college. I do think that is starting to affect the NFL.
Well, it may, and maybe someone's going to do a deeper dive in that. I mean, I was coming. I'll tell you about the college football event I was at on Saturday in the next segment, but I'm coming back, and well, when I'm on the way up, and then I saw a little bit of the Dolphins and the Giants. Okay, I seriously, there were moments I didn't recognize a single Giant or Dolphin on the field. Like, had no idea of any name that's playing. Okay, and then I'm driving home, and I was listening to the Bucks broadcast. It's almost the same deal. Like, that guy's not going to be on the roster. Who is this?
Right.
Who are these guys? That's hard. And you say, well, guys are fighting for roster spots. I get it, which is probably why we'll have at least one game along the way.
I think 2 will be fine. Again, let these guys try and show off what they can, try and make a roster spot. But I don't think there's much of a future other than that in preseason.
I'll be curious what the numbers are this year of percentage of passes thrown in the preseason by starting quarterbacks, which was last year under 10%.
I think it's going to be lower this year.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. All right, when we come back. Hey, man, it's college football. Anybody's eligible. Anybody, for crying out loud. And did Marc Daniels and Andy Staples have a showdown at a college football event in Ocala Saturday night?
Fisticuffs?
No. I'll explain next.
goes on. The chains keep moving, and Marc Daniels is dialing up deep balls. Welcome back to the beat of sports.
We have a college football game starting Thursday as the season is upon us. Florida State among the teams that will play this weekend against New Mexico State. I'll get to a little bit of the Seminoles in a moment. Chris, I was at the UCF kickoff luncheon on Friday. Thanks to Mike Tuck again sitting in on Friday. That was scheduled before all the stuff happened with my mom. But Mike sits in that Friday that I do the kickoff luncheon. And I had not seen the news of the court ruling that said, hang on in that fifth year for everybody. And someone told me at the luncheon, I was like, oh boy. Okay. Then we had, but wait, those fifth-year players, they don't have any eligibility, but not the 16 that were part of the lawsuit in Louisiana. That's different where we got NFL guys that are looking to come back and play. So that's different. And then the news of Daquan Wright with his second NFL team, the undrafted tight end that played at Ole Miss, his second team, he'd signed and then was let go then with the Browns. Plans on playing at LSU. Drew Rosenhaus, his attorney, said they got a deal in place. I could try to explain, but I'd rather not because you can't explain it. I mean, I can. His lawsuit was not connected to the judge that said, hang on, all you fifth-year players. His was separate. Therefore, he can kind of do what he's trying to do. Then people are wrong like, well, he's not in the transfer portal. No, he's not. Why? Because he left Ole Miss. He's not transferring from Ole Miss to LSU. He left Ole Miss. He would just be, well, not enrolling in school. Let's not kid ourselves. He'd be just going to LSU to play football. And then you go, wait a minute. Doesn't the SEC have a transfer rule within the league? Yeah. Which then leads to, as people have found the quote of Greg Sankey back in May saying, you've got to want to be governed. And you'd be like, yeah. And then he also say, well, Lane doesn't need to sign him. He wants to win. So it doesn't matter what I think. This is what I know, Chris. This is what I know. I've given up on trying to figure out who's eligible or not. I don't know. Cole Kozlowski, the linebacker that UCF thought they were getting back, walks off their practice field because right now he's not eligible. And I'm not telling you that this one has a case, that one doesn't have a case. I understand. If I'm playing college football and I'm getting paid good money, whatever you define good money, and someone says your eligibility's done. Okay? Well, now you go become a pro. If I can't play college anymore, I'll try. And then someone goes, you can now go back and play college. I may not like how this looks, the optics of it, but if someone told you, you're done. I'm done. No more. That's it. Get out of here. And then someone goes, well, wait a minute. There may be a chance. It's confusing. So I don't know anymore. I have no idea. I simply have no idea. And not just Daquan Wright. Jack Pyburns has played for the Bucs. We've got guys that have played in preseason games. Wright, though, has told people he's going to LSU. Should Lane Kiffin say no? He doesn't care. Is Daquan Wright going to take somebody else's position in the roster? Of course he will. And college rosters now are live rosters. 105. Can't be 106. Someone's got to go. So I don't know what the rule is because there isn't one. Chris jokes sometimes about judges don't have to do these rulings. He's not wrong, but judges are no different than us, meaning we define things differently. You and I can look at something or believe in something and have two separate views. Judges are the same. Interpret the law. This is how I read it. I have no idea where it's going. None at all. Don't know. Don't know who's eligible. Don't know even when the season starts. Hey, we kicked off for 2 games. Guess who's eligible now? I don't know. I've given up. Right? I mean, what else are you supposed to do? I have no idea. Don't know. Don't know. So Saturday, I was invited up to Golden Ocala, private private golf club up in
Excuse
Ocala,
us.
and one of the nation's best equestrian centers. So Sean Kelly is the radio voice of the Gators, and Sean reached out to me a few months ago, Jeff Culhane at Florida State, and said, hey, we're going to try to get together for a college football event in August. Would you be interested in coming up? And we just want to have like a round table, be a private fair. And so a couple months ago, Chris, I said to Sean, thank you for the invite. Yeah, I'll make it. Fast forward, a lot of things happening in my life the last 6 weeks, but I went. I said, look, I committed to go, and I'm representing UCF. So I went up there. So it was William Floyd, is Jeff Culhane's Colorado's at Florida State. Sean Kelly, Shane Matthews, Colorado's there, and Andy Staples of On 3. So went up to Golden Ocala, and they had a nice private event. Like, important people, Chris, not me. Like the big jumbo shrimp when it came to, like the really good wings and stuff like that. Like the legit mac and cheese, no craft or anything like that. So we were up on, this kind of podium, and Sean was kind of narrating, not narrating, he was the head of this event. And we just had a fun Q&A, mostly Gator fans, a few Seminole fans, maybe 1 or 2 UCF fans, and some college football fans, members of Golden Ocala, and beautiful facility. So there's a moment when somebody asked a question. It came about Notre Dame, actually, about independence of Notre Dame. And then it snowballed into something. And then Andy Staples, and Andy's as good as anybody on the national perspective of college football, was talking. And then the Notre Dame independent question kind of morphed into Super League. And I'm not oblivious. I've said this before. If they start a Super League tomorrow, UCF won't get invited. Florida State would definitely get invited, but UCF wouldn't be invited. I'm not stupid at that, but I said, I don't think we're closer to a Super League. But Andy's point was TV networks want it, and most of college football fans want it. And all I said was, be careful what you wish for, because if you end up with a Super League of 32 or 34 teams, if you just took the Big Ten and the SEC, I said, it becomes like the National Football League. And I turned, Shane Matthews was to my left, and I said to Shane, is 11-6 a good year in the National Football League? And he goes, it's a great year. I go, then get ready, because you're not going 12-0. Okay? There's a reason why it's really hard to go undefeated in the National Football League. So get used to more 6-6 and 7-5 and even 8-4 being a good year. And Eddie said, yeah, but fans want to see the best play the best. And then my argument back was, do they? And he said yes. And I go, hang on a second. And I asked a predominantly dominant Gator crowd the following question. A couple of years ago, Florida played the hardest schedule in college football. Okay? Last year was pretty tough as well. I said, do you want to go 6-6 with the toughest schedule in the country, or 12-0, 11-1 with the 47th best schedule in the country? Which would you pick? Chris, which would you pick? Do you want to go and say, here's the toughest schedule in the country, and you went 6-6, or the 47th best schedule in the country, and you went 11-1 or 12-0? Which one do you want?
You want to go 11-1, 12-0?
100% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to hear, man, that was such a fun schedule, and we went 6-6 versus 11-1, 12-0, where you played a few tough games, a few not so tough games, and a couple of cupcake games. And you say, well, that's not what TV wants. I understand that. I'm just asking your fan base. And by the way, the overwhelming majority of the people, and again, mostly Gator fans, chose the 11-1 and 12-0. I say, his fans want to win. You start to go towards any Super League idea, I'm sorry, you're not going 12-0 every year. The more tough games you play, you're going to lose a few.
Right.
And in the NFL, you go 11-6, you had a good year. You had a good year, right?
Yep.
Well, what's the equivalent of that? It's about 8-4 in college football. Now, you may adapt and begin to accept 8-4 because you may end up with a 16-team playoff and plenty of 8-4 teams make a playoff in a 34 team model. But every time I hear, we don't want these cupcake games. We want to play tough games. No, you don't. You want a few tough games. You don't want 9 or 10 tough games. You go, well, the SEC. No, you don't want 9 really tough games because you're not going to win 8 of them. You're not. We want to win. You know when you don't care when you beat up on FCS teams? When you're 12-0. Yeah, but you played. Who cares? Right? 12-0 is 12-0. And even though Indiana has no Power 4 games non-conference for the next, 5-6 years, no one's going to care. No one's going to care if they go 8-1 in the Big Ten. They go, well, those games. No one's going to care because their fans have been like, I'll take 11-1. So the idea, well, no. I want the best matchups. Sure. TV wants the best matchups. You know when TV loves the best matchups? I'll tell you when they love the best matchups. When 8-0 plays 8-0. When 4-0 plays 4-0, that's called the 1 o'clock kick Sunday on CBS. Right? Because I can take two great brands. I'll just pick. If I got 4-4 Michigan and 4-4 Oklahoma, the history of the two brands, they're awesome. But they're two 4-4 teams, and I'm not excited anymore. If I had, and Grant, extreme example, if I got 4-4 Oklahoma, 4-4 Michigan playing, and I've got 8-0 Indiana versus 7-1 Vanderbilt, guess what's a better game that day? Indy and Vanderbilt. Winning. Not, man, what a great schedule. Got it a blast this year. We lost 6 games. How can I sign up for this again next year? By the way, can I just add one thing? God, I hope he's not listening. There's no way this guy's listening. So there are like 15 tables in the room, and like three tables across in 5 rows, right? Middle table is the guy that's, he's an Ohio State fan. May have had a sip or two too much. The kind of guy that openly and loudly is talking, like somebody brings something, he goes, that's a good player. Yep. Yeah, they're going to be really good. Really good. Like loud, and Shane Matthews turns and goes, Mark, can you hear him? Hear him? Does he have a microphone? Like, of course I can hear him. Really loud. By the way, Shane really likes Florida's offense this year. Just talking to him a little bit. He thinks he's got a pretty good idea who the quarterback is, and I think most Gator fans do. When your coordinator transfers, and you could have been the starting quarterback at your previous place at Georgia Tech, when you transfer with your coordinator, there's a pretty good chance that you know that you're going to be the starting quarterback. But Shane thinks they'll be really good. Offensive line, he thinks, is a question mark. Defensively, he thinks they got to be tougher, but he thinks Florida's offense is going to be good. More football coming up a little bit later. Coming on back, more of the Beat of Sports next.
marching down the field, and Marc Daniels is calling the plays. Welcome back to the Beat of Sports.
You can access this show many ways. That's at 96.9 AM 740. You can also listen live on the iHeart app anywhere in the world. It's a free download the iHeart app and make it a preset button. You can watch us live on the video stream on our YouTube page, 96.9 The Game. Click on the logo on the live button. You can also access that video stream on our Twitter channel, Twitter page, handle, thing, whatever, 96.9 Game on. And also in podcast form, where you get your favorite podcast, Time of the Beat of Sports on Demand. Subscribe, get it downloaded, listen when it's convenient for you. My good friend Paul Kennedy joins us today. We always enjoy our chats with Paul. Although today you join us to share some thoughts about someone that has recently left us, someone that worked in the Central Florida area, worked at UCF, Joe Dean Jr., son of the legendary great Joe Dean Sr., and a basketball family. Passed away recently. His funeral is today, and a lot of folks in the sports and college basketball world will be there to honor him. Good morning, Mr. Kennedy. How are you?
Good morning, Coach. Wonderful to hear your voice. Yeah, today we celebrate the life of Joe Dean Jr., who left us at the age of 70 last week. And today in Birmingham, Alabama, some of the greats of the sport will gather to honor him and all he meant to the sport of college basketball. He and string music, his father, Joe Dean Sr., who is the longtime athletic director at LSU, and Joe Jr., who is at the University of Central Florida. And I think, next to Torchy Clark, probably did more to lay the foundation for what the program has become than any other individual. And not many people are familiar with him or contemporary to him because he coached from 1990-91 through 1992-93, 4 seasons that saw this university experience rapid growth, the building of the arena, and 4 separate conferences, independent the first year, and 3 separate conferences in 3 years as they were accelerating into truly major college basketball. Joe Dean Jr., a wonderful fellow, and I had the privilege of broadcasting, televising Southeastern Conference basketball with him nearly every Saturday for close to 15 years.
Yeah, I knew Joe briefly when I got to Orlando. I started broadcasting in 95 at UCF, and by then Kirk Spiro had already come to the program.
Yes.
But I did get to know Joe from when I arrived in Orlando and interviewed him several times. Had a good relationship with him, and yeah, he was part of the interesting transition where the program had no money and had to play some of those buy games and trying to get players to come here. Kirk comes in, has success, takes the team to the tournament, and then kind of things began to grow from there. But as you mentioned, you and I were talking earlier, his family's part of Southern basketball history, whether it was Joe Jr. working with you or, others. Of course, his dad, for many years with Tom Hammond, broadcast games, but the Dean family in Southern basketball is a part of his history, isn't it?
Yeah, many young men or now adults will recall they had a camp called the Dixie Basketball Camp in the summer in the Deep South, and there are 24,000 boys that went through that camp and were exposed to discipline and fun and the fundamentals of the game. It was a real cornerstone of basketball at the time. And I think the Dean family were part of a movement that in the 70s, Mark, shifted universities' focus and emphasis from just having an assistant football coach or someone else without funding manage the basketball for them between football season and spring football season, to really making it an entity that it became, with television rights, great coaches coming in, phenomenal players. But they insisted and were champions of in the media and with athletic departments of this is important, and this can be a business, and this can present on the front door, the front porch of every university, a great opportunity to raise your profile. Before in the SEC, it was perhaps Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Kentucky, LSU. That was it. But it was vastly different when their time on the stage came to a conclusion.
Yeah, there's a unique history of SEC basketball, and it wasn't just Joby Hall at Kentucky, Wimp Sanderson in a jacket at Alabama, and U Durham at Georgia, and then Dale Brown at LSU, and it was unique in the old days of Jefferson Pilot, who did a football game, once a week, and then did those basketball games that you were a part of. By the way, I did want to confirm. I looked up. This was the 60th year of the string music basketball and a Dixie basketball camp in Summit, Mississippi. They just did the 60th.
Really?
Yeah, they just
This
did the
year
60th year. Yeah, yeah.
They gave me a T-shirt, and I have that T-shirt.
Really?
They gave me a T-shirt, Dixie basketball camp, and they used to. They would award great play and success, and at the end of a camper's day, with a 4-clap system. You would clap once if he was just okay, 2 if he was average, 3 if he was better than average, and 4 if he was exceptional. And they say the 400 boys that were there at any one time would all clap in rhythm. So it was a lot of fun. And throughout the years, we would always get together and say, okay, that's 3 claps, Joe, for a job well done, or 2 claps, Joe, you were okay today, after we did a television segment and whatever. Remember Joe Dean and Tom Hammond?
Of course, doing string music, man. When he knocked down a big basket, that was Joe Dean Sr. saying string music right there.
String music from Kentucky. And but I would have the B game, Joe and I would.
Uh-huh.
So we would go to these games. It would be double headers every day, every Saturday for the most part. So we did that on a regular basis, and one would lead into the other. And so all the universities that began to build new arenas and the like, and it was Ole Miss and
C.M. Newton was at Vandy, right?
Yes, he was, and he had been very successful in Alabama. But you're like, Florida gets the dome built, right? The O'Connell Center gets that beautiful about that time, right?
Yeah,
the O'Connell Center gets built, and here we go. And when Joe was at UCF, and when he got there, they did not have a phone in the coach's office. And that's where he starts, in the tartan floor. But he debuted the UCF arena that now attaches to your more modern arena. But that was a very significant achievement, was it not?
Sure, of course.
Back in 91, 92, 93, to build that building for players like Ken Leaks and Edsel Bester, those guys. And I remember in 1992, this is how close he came to a breakthrough here. They played on consecutive nights in the Orlando Arena. Stanford with Mike Montgomery, who would go on to win the NIT, perennial 20-game losers, and played them close.
Winners, not losers. 20-game winners.
20-game winners, I'm sorry. And DePaul with Joey Meyer, who would go to the NCAA. He took Joey Meyer into overtime. So he was playing powerhouses in college basketball at UCF and playing them well. It was a pretty glorious time. And then when he left here, was the athletic director, in addition to calling games, for 15 years at Birmingham Southern, and a major player of creating tip-off clubs around the South. But we celebrate his life today, Joe Dean Jr. Some will remember he and his wife, Ellen, and what they contributed here, and some perhaps not. But I think it's significant, and I'm really grateful. 5 claps to you, Mark, for taking a moment to remember Joe.
Yeah, like I said, the Joe Dean Sr. and Jr., part of Southern basketball history, and Joe did coach and did broadcast a number of years. And, when I was at Florida, mid-'80s to late 80s, that was it, man. You got an occasional ESPN. It was mostly Big East basketball, but the way you watched SEC was you had the doubleheader on Saturday. And, I'm sure there's something like that Paul Kennedy drive to Starkville for maybe that Vandy, Mississippi State, 4 o'clock Eastern start, Paul?
That was it. I was through Atlanta.
Yeah.
We'd go through Atlanta, and we would arrive, and you do a Magic game on Friday night, and there you are in Little Rock, Arkansas on Saturday morning to do a game. But there was a thrill to it. He was always prepared. Everyone respected him, and And just as an aside, his services are today. It'll be a celebration at Asbury Methodist in Birmingham, and you can stream that service if you'd like to join the many coaches that will be there, whose faces you will immediately recognize. Joe had been with Jack Goose Gibbons, had been an assistant coach when Kentucky and Joe B. Hall, who you mentioned, won the national championship in '78. Joe Dean was on that staff, and so it'll be a great day because no one lives forever, and Joe had a wonderful life.
Thank you, my friend, for sharing it. We appreciate it very much. I'll catch up with you soon.
Love you. Thank you so much, Mark.
There you go. The great Paul Kennedy. Yeah, Joe Dean Jr. passed away recently, and a funeral is for him today. Busy Monday, a lot of emails there. Sorry about that, Chris. Yeah, his dad does string music. Hit a shot, nothing but net. String music. And, yeah, I mean, when I was at Florida, that was, Jefferson Pilot doubleheader. That's how you watched SEC basketball, and that was it was interesting. Football will always be the dominant sport in the SEC, but man, there were some characters. You go back in the 70s and 80s of coaches, and it was an impressive list of coaches in the SEC back then. A lot of stuff to get to. Still the 11 o'clock hour. Deshaun Watson is the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Put that down your fantasy football league if you need a fifth-string quarterback.
There was a tweet by Ari Mirov, who part of the thought process behind naming Deshaun Watson starter, and I can get behind it. Cleveland opens up with 2 road games, Jacksonville and Tampa. This will give Deshaun Watson an opportunity to show himself before their Week 3 home opener in front of fans that maybe they're not booing him anymore.
Or maybe they're 0-2.
Maybe by Week 3, Shedeur Sanders is named the starter.
Yeah. Dylan Gabriel should just walk around with a sign. What about me?
Must be at least 5'9".
What's the name of that song? Who is it? Moving Pictures, I think, is the band that sang that song, What About Me? You should play that.
Must be at least 5'9" to be named starter of the Cleveland Browns.
Wow. 11 o'clock hour kicks off with the news next.
Let's really do the news.
Yes.
Now it is time to do the news.
But now it's time for the news.
11 o'clock hour, WYJ Orlando, WJRHD2 Cocoa Beach. Let's get to the news. The Browns have named their starting quarterback. Deshaun Watson is going to be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, despite the weekend of press conference cringe. Watson will get the start for the Browns, who play the two in-state teams, Jacksonville and Tampa, to start the season.
2 road games.
Okay, good luck with that.
Again, I can get behind the thought process behind it.
Okay. Meanwhile, Daquan Wright apparently is free to go to play football at LSU. After being part of the Cleveland Browns roster, they did waive him today. His agent, Drew Rosen, now says he has a deal pending at LSU. Once he clears waivers, can't see anybody picking him up.
What are we doing?
Then he would be free to go sign a deal to play at LSU. Probably just going over what classes he's going to take for the fall. Just to check to see that one. Huh?
Sure he's not just going to go for an internship?
He signed with the Eagles after the draft, then was claimed on waivers for the Browns on August 11th, had been injured and not able to play, and apparently now is headed to LSU. Listen, it's really simple. It's very, very simple. And I am a broken record repeating this. You either choose to do something or you don't. And by the law of a court today, Daquan Wright can go back to play college football. You don't have to sign him. You know, you don't have to partake in this. And you say, well, that's not fair because the court. No. A judge has granted him the right to play. I can't change that. You don't have to sign him. If your league, one of the so-called dominant leagues, had its commissioner say 3 months ago, you have to want to be governed, then you either lead by convincing your members that we're going to abide by the rules that we agreed upon, or you simply want a lawless world. Greg Sankey will come up with, I'm sure, a good word salad. And by the way, I don't think he likes this. I don't. Because he knows the optics don't bode well when he sits to make an argument of, hey, you know, you got to want to be governed or, you know, when they couldn't get the Protect College Sports Act, then we got Plan B, which is we'll govern ourselves, or Plan C is a breakaway. Okay, so we go to Plan B. We're going to govern ourselves. You are? So if you told your people we're not going to accept these players, and someone says, I'm going to sign them because the court said I can sign them. He's expected to, I guess, be at LSU sometime the next day or so. And remember, roster's alive now. You have a registered roster. You got 105. Someone's coming off. Someone's got to lose their job. But, again, it comes down to, do you want to win, right? I mean, in the end, that's what it comes down to.
That's all we care about.
I mean, that's pretty much what happens here. Week 0 of college football begins on Thursday. FSU among the teams will play on Saturday. By the way, optimism was all over that room. And when I was in Ocala at that college football event, like Jeff Cohen and William Floyd, the Florida State, I think the team's got a lot of talent. Be really good. Even me, I'm like, hey, I'm really excited. Like, look, nobody knows. Nobody knows. But we have hope. You know, we have hope. Gotta have hope.
Dangerous 4-letter word.
Gotta have hope. Gotta have hope. Rob Manfred says that he hopes that there'll be a baseball season in 2027. Well, that's good.
Again, dangerous 4-letter word.
As the two sides in Major League Baseball try to figure out a way to avoid a work stoppage in 27. Klay Thompson is going to be a member of the Miami Heat. Took a little bit less than what had been reported to make things work. Faison Brandon, the true freshman, will be a quarterback bouncing back to college football. True freshman is going to be the starting quarterback at Tennessee.
I see a lot of true freshmen starting.
No, he beat out a second-year player in George McIntyre. They paid him a lot of money to come to Tennessee. He was one of the more higher-paid quarterbacks coming out of high school football, and he'll start. Everybody loves when the true freshman's named the starting quarterback. Everybody loves. And they play like Bryce Underwood. You're like, he sucks. I remember, let's watch Underwood. Like, he can't throw the ball. Oh, my God. Who made this decision? Wow. He just can't throw. No, this kid may be really good, but who knows? It's tough. You're going to start as a freshman. I mean, you can throw him out there in the first game, and they got Furman on September 5th. But they go to Atlanta to play Georgia Tech second week, so we'll see. More from the NFL coming up a little bit towards the bottom of the hour on this Monday edition of the Beat of Sports. Week from tonight, the Orlando Touchdown Club is back to kick off a brand new season. And Rob Thompson, my good friend, and along with many other great people, do a phenomenal job. And I want to invite Rob on to kind of preview the season that we've got coming up. Encourage you to become a member of the Orlando Touchdown Club because it's just a great thing to have during football season. So, Rob, good morning. Thanks for coming on.
Good
How
morning,
are you, sir?
Mark. Good morning. Thanks for having me on. Excited for football season to start.
Yeah, so we're a week away from the first meeting. So let me do this. Share with folks a little bit about the history of the Touchdown Club, how long the club's been around, and outside of gathering to talk football, some of the great things the club is all about and why people should get involved.
Yes, I'm happy to do that. So the Touchdown Club, believe it or not, has been around since 1959, and it's been a consistent honor to bring in high school players and coaches each fall and honor them for their performance on the field. I'm honored to be the next president. We've had great leadership the last 20 years with Rob Anthony and then Gig Sineni. We generally meet every other Monday in the fall, and we also have a spring meeting as well. This year, our season's getting off to a little bit of a funky start because our first speaker, Stuart Mandel, who is the editor-in-chief of The Athletic, wanted to come on week 0 instead of week 1. So he's actually coming next Monday, and then we're having our next meeting the day after Labor Day on Tuesday. But then from there on out, we're every other Monday. We like to say that we're honoring the future of college football when we bring these the players in from the high schools and the coaches. But we're really a college football club. Like, we have a lot of Gator and Knight fans, good amount of Seminoles, and then we've got a few others, including me and my Fighting Irish, and we've got some fans of Miami, Georgia, Penn State, and a bunch of other schools, Auburn, et cetera.
Rob, I know the Touchdown Club competes with so many other wonderful clubs when it comes to speakers, so give me an idea about the off-season, what it was like to track down some folks, and there's some really exciting meetings coming up with some names that I think are of interest to local people, but you bring back a few folks, you added some new folks. What's the lineup look like this year for speakers?
Exactly. Well, I don't want to go too far without acknowledging we had one of our greatest seasons last year. We finished off the year with the last appearance of Lou Holtz before he passed away. We did a joint event with Lou and Lee Corso, and we're very grateful that they came out. And then we closed our season with Tony Barnhart, which was his last appearance with us because he's retiring. But after Stuart Mandel, we've got our perennial favorite, Andy Staples, who's actually a Lake Mary High School grad, and he walked on the Gator football team for a while. And we love hearing from Andy. He's got his On 3 daily podcast, and he's done a lot of writing over the years. Then we're bringing back Bobby Carpenter at the end of September. He's an Ohio State All-American linebacker. He's on radio up in Columbus, Ohio, and he's just an all-around good guy. Played in the NFL as well. We've got an open date that we're trying to gear towards a Gator theme at this point in the middle of October. And then Charles Davis, another local guy who treats us very well, a wonderful man, but now he's the lead college football analyst for CBS. We wanted him to come in the middle of the season so he got his feet wet again in college because he's been doing NFL for a while. But we love Charles. We love hearing about him. And Charles probably does the best job of any of our speakers addressing the players that we bring into the room to honor at our events. Now I'm going to tell you about the one I'm most excited about so far this year. I've lived in Orlando a long time, used to go to the UCF games at the Citrus Bowl and watch this guy play under this coach, but I've never met Dante Culpepper. I've met Coach Mike Kruzik a couple times, but on November 2nd, it's going to be a really cool evening. We're going to have that one at the Azalea Lodge at Mead Gardens instead of at Dub's Dread, so we get a little bit more room. But I'm really excited to hear Dante speak. And my daughter goes to UCF. I'm a season ticket holder, but that one's going to be special for me personally. In mid-November, we've got Rick Neuheisel coming in. Rick was supposed to come in last year, and it was literally the week after that, the whole thing with his son taking over as the offensive coordinator for UCLA and beating Penn State in a surprise game. But Rick did it with Zoom with us last year because we had some travel issues with hurricane season. But Rick's coming down in person in November. Hurricane season should be over. And then we're looking to end our season with a bang. I can't really announce anything right now, but we're working with a national championship coach, and we're working with a former Heisman winner. We're gonna hope to end the season with a bang in late November or mid-December. But we're super excited, and we love the fellowship. I want to thank some people that help us. Mike Bianchi's been our MC for a number of years. Of course, you, Mark, with the UCF report and just general college football overview is awesome. And then our host, Steve Gunter. He's a big Arkansas fan. He's had some up and down years, but Steve manages Dub's Dread and those facilities and hosts us with great events. And, of course, my sidekick, Kathy Kissick. She does everything from membership to being our webmaster and event planner. So we've got a lot of people that help out, and then people that pitch in from time to time. Matt Michelle comes when we need him, and Phil Daniello does our skills game. So it's definitely a team effort. But I'm really honored to lead this group this fall.
If you go to OrlandoTDClub.com, you can check out that list that Rob just mentioned about our speakers, and you can also see how easy it is to sign up and become a member. And it doesn't matter who your favorite team is. You're going to find somebody. And the great thing is, and Rob, we got a few cliques that always sit with each other, but there's always tables where you meet people. And as you know, this is a great networking opportunity. We got some big wigs in the club, and you never know what it leads to on the business side as well. So no matter what your team is, we welcome everybody to the club, and you benefit whatever one wants to make from it.
Exactly. I 100% agree with that. We've got people that develop long-term friendships and people that have been members of the club for a long time. And then we encourage people to come and try us out. If you want to come and pay the guest fee, and then you like it, which I think you will, we'll apply that guest fee towards our season membership of $375. So we're happy where we're at with who we have, and we'd love to invite new members to join us.
You mentioned about the event in November with Coach Kruzik and Dante. They've never done something like this, and Dante doesn't do many appearances. He really does not. Anytime I see him, he's cordial, but he just doesn't do much. So it's going to be a special night to get Dante and Coach Kruzik together.
It is. I want to thank Kathy Kissick and you for helping nudge that along. It is going to be a special night, and we also encourage our members that have any connections to any people in the college football world to help us out with speakers. We had one of our members graduated with Danny Werfel at Florida, and encouraged him to come. We had Danny couple years ago. We've had Coach Bowden before he passed away. We've had Coach Spurrier. It's just a wonderful club, wonderful fellowship. The food is great, and that's a good way to spend Monday nights after sometimes a stressful football weekend.
The one thing also that I get reminded every time we meet, and the club honors, the high school players in the area, is how much the coaches and players appreciate, and the parents. I never get tired, Rob, of moving my chair because some mom needs to take a photo of her son up there. And to them, it means it doesn't matter if it's the first game in September, middle of the season, and we hear about their stories. And as you know, we've got Noah Grubbs at Notre Dame. We've got players that are hoping to walk on, or those that play in the Ivy League. And those are the great stories, because it's not all about the 4 or 5-star kids, but I know the high school coaches really appreciate it, and it's a big part of the club's history.
That's awesome. I love following the players and their stories. A really interesting one last year, I think for the first time that I can remember, we honored an 8th grader. We honored Gavin Pritzkaw, the quarterback at Central Florida Christian Academy. And he was very impressive, very well spoken for a kid who's 13 years old. His parents were super proud to have him be honored there. And then I saw he just started the season with a 4-touchdown game again. So they went 9-0 in the regular season and lost in the playoffs. And it's fun to watch those kids grow. And when you really hear these kids and their commitment to their programs and their teammates and their coaches, it's super impressive to see where these kids are going to go.
First meeting is next Monday, the 31st of August, at the Taproom at Dubstred, where we meet most of our meetings. And once in a while, as Robin mentioned, we slide over to Mead Gardens and the Azalea Lodge here. We'll do that for the Coach Kruzik and Dante Culpepper night. But otherwise, for the Taproom at Dubstred, Steve Gunner does an amazing job. The food's fantastic. So please visit OrlandoTDClub.com, see the schedule, sign up, become a member, come on out, have a great time. We just love every football season with all of our friends and family, my football family, at the Orlando Touchdown Club. Rob, thanks so much. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Mark, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Rob Thompson, the president of the Orlando Touchdown Club. Yeah, that's a cool event in November to get Coach Kruzik and Dante together. Be a lot of fun.
I can't remember last time I've heard Dante speak.
He just doesn't do many appearances. Just, enjoys his life and keeps it somewhat quiet. And when he comes back to UCF, he comes back but kind of lays low and all sorts of stuff. And Coach Kruzik, I think some people have learned some news about what lies ahead for him and UCF this football season, and a special moment and event for that. But Mike Kruzik's great guy, and part of the UCF DNA of those years of trying to build something. And in fact, Saturday when I'm up with that event in Ocala, I got a phone call from somebody that's like, how do I buy tickets to the Dante and Mike Kruzik event? So I know it's going to draw well that night. And I have a great time with the Touchdown Club, and guys like Mike and I have supported the club for years, and they're really good people. And just fun to get out and talk some football and a little bit of ribbing, back and forth. But it's okay. Been a couple rough years for some of us, when you got to go there and talk about your team and the struggles and things like that. It is the start of the season on Thursday in college football. Florida State plays this weekend against New Mexico State. UCF begins a week from Thursday when they take on Bethune-Cookman. So I wasn't here Friday when Tuck sat in for me. I was at the UCF kickoff lunch. I was at the scrimmage on Thursday. Can't give out many details, gotta lay low there. Thursday we did the opening of the tower, a special ceremony for that, and then we're up Thursday night in the booth watching the scrimmage, and you got to be careful sometimes. And this isn't just what happened to UCF, but Chris, every fan does this at open NFL practices, right? You go, man, is the offense that good? Or does the defense suck?
Yeah.
Or, man, this defense looks incredible. And you got to be careful because what are you rooting for? You're like, what happened there?
Rooting for good plays.
Well, you want a
Hustle.
mix of stuff. Like, if you're going to throw the ball deep, make a couple of plays like, wow, great catch. And then you don't mind like, hey, it's great coverage. And so you're sitting there going, what am I watching? You just got to be careful. Reached a part of camp. There were a few guys dinged up for UCF. You be careful with that. And I don't care however you want to do a scrimmage. And you know why you're not hitting a quarterback. It just changes some things. When the guy comes off the edge and he beats a tackle and he's slowing up when he'd get to the quarterback and the quarterback gets rid of it and goes, oh, it's a great pass for 20 yards. Like, okay, but if you let the defensive player, he's making a sack there.
Right.
So it's like, which one was good? Was it bad line play or stuff like that? But I think UCF's defense is pretty good for the Big 12. I think they've got one of the better defenses in the Big 12. I think their secondary is going to be really, really good this season. And offensively, I don't care what anybody says. It's line play. You've got to be able to block, to run the ball. I don't care what and Alonzo Barnett can fling it. He's got a great release. The success that UCF had in 2017 with Frost and in 2018 and even 2019 with Heupel, you can go back and go, yeah, it was McKenzie Milton, then Dylan Gabriel. It was the ability to run the ball that forced defenses to have to make decisions. And if you could get guys in space with the football that have speed, that's why UCF's offense those years were so good. And I sat at the kickoff luncheon on Friday next to Adrian Killens. Man, I got to tell you something. I seen AK, and we talked a little bit. He's an Orlando firefighter.
Nice. Good for him.
Still lives in New Smyrna Beach. And he and his girlfriend, I think they're making plans to get married. But he sat next to me at the luncheon because the player interviews we had, it was McKenzie, Adrian Killens, Alonzo Barnett, and Lewis Carter. And just catching up with him. And some people, man, they're just different. Here's this dude. First off, if he plays today, I don't know if he stays at UCF in a portal world. I have no idea that, right? But no regrets, not jealous. We're talking about the current. He's like, hey, I don't fault anybody. But he did talk about something, and this is a player. It's like what made us good in those years was adversity of 2016, Frost's first year, McKenzie just learning to play the position, spending that whole season, the whole off season, in 2017, having the magical run they had, and then in 2018, like that 3-4 year buildup. And he says, I don't know how players can go from one team to the next and have that same type of chemistry.
You don't.
Because he said, that locker room are his brothers for life because they spent 4 years together, And he said, I don't know how players do it today. But he's no ill will towards them. Just, I could not have been more impressed just spending 20, 30 minutes talking Adrian Killens. What a guy.
I miss watching him play.
Man, what a guy. I mean, great football player, amazing speed, but as he's now matured into a man, what a guy. Like, that's something to be proud of. We talk about all these guys today bouncing, doing stuff, and playing the pros and so forth. He loves doing what he does, love being a firefighter, loves it. The schedule that he's got, the way he works his schedules, that he can be at home games, everything. He loves UCF, but what a dude. Can still run. Dude
I
can
don't
still
doubt
run.
it.
Dude can still run, man.
I don't doubt it.
He can still run. We bounce back to the NFL when the Beat of Sports Since Monday continues next.
No prevent defense can stop this rhythm. You're locked into the beat of sports with Marc Daniels.
Aaron Filio is going to be the Gator quarterback. That's made official by John Stonewall. Shane Matthews knew that on Saturday when I was up in Ocala. And even said he thought an announcement would come Monday. Again, not surprising. Tramel Jones, talented player. But when your OC leaves Georgia Tech to go to Florida, and Haynes King, who I believe took more hits than anybody the last 2 years in college football, playing the position at Georgia Tech. I mean, I love Haynes King. I mean, I know he's hurt now playing for the Panthers, but when the OC goes, the quarterback follows him. You pretty much can make it a 1-9 favorite who's going to win the quarterback job. Florida worked hard to keep Tramel Jones. Now, is this one of these situations with they have FAU and Campbell where you see 60-40 snaps and both play? Or is it, this is our guy, we're going with it, and, which I think you need to do. I mean, if you're Summerall and Buster Faulkner, the offensive coordinator, this is my guy, he's a quarterback. I'll get the other guy ready if we need him to play, but this is my guy.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with rhythm.
Yeah.
And yes, it's 2 cupcakes to open, and you probably could see what you have in both guys. But if you name the starter, stick with him unless you see something, either he's just not as good as you thought,
yeah,
or whatever the case is.
That way you can fling it though. I think a quarterback can throw it. Not saying that they're going to beat Florida, but they can throw it. Okay, we talked earlier about the NFL. And week 2 of the preseason, okay? If I just stay in the state for a second, okay? Baker played a couple of series, and then they got their starters out. The Jags, I know the game was with the weather, but, the Jags and Dolphins hardly played anybody. And, again, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with these preseason games. Miami's offense in 2 games is horrendous. Other than that first drive that Malik Willis had against the Commanders in week 1, it's terrible. We're not playing anybody. Okay. Then I guess.
Probably should be playing people, not just because it's the preseason.
Yes, I don't know what you're taking out of this stuff.
If you're the Dolphins, you need all the starters need all the reps they can get.
He's not playing. And he already said no one's playing this week.
That makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Yeah, well, so
I mean, outside of Achane, you don't know what you have in anybody on your roster. Why is nobody playing?
Well, you could argue they don't have anybody, but yeah. What I hope doesn't happen. Well, let me say this: what do you think the average Dolphin fan thinks today? What Miami's record's going to be?
I don't see how they think they can win more than 4.
Well, but I think a fan is always more optimistic than the rest of the world,
and that's what I'm thinking. Optimistic is 4.
See, I was going to say I think Dolphin fans think 5 or 6.
No.
And I think their optimistic view is 5 or 6, and I don't know, man.
Looking at their schedule,
I don't know.
And I think they're going to be the worst team in the NFL. They have a toss-up, I think, week 1 against the Raiders. And then other than the 2 games against the Jets, I don't see them winning another game.
At all?
No.
Wow. J.J. McCarthy lighting up against 2s and 3s.
It's about what he is a 2 or a 3.
Wow. I saw that. There are a few guys that played. Caleb Williams played a couple of series. A few quarterbacks that played, not much. We didn't need to play our starters. We let Jameis go to work. No one owns August like Jameis Winston does. There's an MVP of August. It's Jameis Winston. Laugh what you may, though. Wait. Seriously. He's a perfect backup. He's a perfect backup quarterback.
I'm not denying it.
Yeah, he's a perfect backup quarterback.
I'm not denying it.
There's nothing wrong with Jameis Winston. He's a perfect backup quarterback.
Okay.
What about Ashton Jennings' injury? Do we know more? We're still early
I
out there.
I haven't seen anything.
I don't know what else there may be out there about that. Mendoza was 8 of 15 for 86 yards. Sunday is when Ashton Jeanty left with an apparent ankle injury. Don't think it looks like it's a long-term deal, but ankle injuries are, well, they hurt for anybody, but for running back, got to be careful with that.
It's not, they don't believe it's a long-term injury.
Yeah. Not
considered.
What when you look around, and again, there's so much uncertainty because of what the preseason has become. What team are we forgetting or not showing respect for that belongs in consideration among favorites that can win a championship? Who's the it under the radar team? Can you be an it under the radar team?
I think
Is
so.
that something you
is
can
it
be?
is it based on the preseason or just because we're going through the preseason?
Again, this is me. Some people are totally into this. I'm not talking about gambling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how anybody can watch 2 weeks of this and know, this team's really, really good. And again, I said this last week. I'll say it again. There are players that are earning jobs that go out and play 2, 3, 4 series and have earned a spot on a roster. But I don't know if after 2 weeks you go, you know what, I really misjudged this team because there's so few key players that are playing. So now I'll go back to my question. Is there such a thing as an under-the-radar team that we're forgetting 2 weeks away at the start of the season? Or, 3 weeks.
It's got to be the Detroit Lions. I mean, they finished
And
last.
that's a bounce-back factor because of what we did with injuries last year.
Well, they finished in last place, yet they were 9-8.
Yeah.
They're, a couple years removed from having one of the best offenses, and I get Ben Johnson's gone, Aaron Glenn is gone on the defensive side, but this team is stacked. And yet we just kind of overlook them. Really, anyone in the NFC North we don't really talk about. They're just kind of, they're there.
Can I give you the team that I think might be on the other end of that?
Okay.
Are the Ravens a little overrated?
I think the Ravens are hard to judge because you expect Pittsburgh to be around 500. The Browns are the Browns. That division should be the Bengals.
I think the Bengals will win the division. Yeah.
Only if Joe Burrow stays healthy.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. And that's why I think we always chalk up the Ravens.
Okay. Greater number. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Greater number. Combined losses of the Bills and Patriots or wins of the Jets and Dolphins?
Combined losses of Bills,
Which
Patriots.
is the bigger number? Combined losses of Bills, Patriots, or wins, Jets, Dolphins?
Losses, Bills, Patriots.
Which you think is what?
I see it being 6, 7.
And you think the Jets and Dolphins combined for less than 6 wins?
Yes. They're both really bad. They're both really bad.
So hold on. I want to punch up. Do you have a Miami schedule in front of you? I do. I got it. I got it right here. Here you go. So let's play this quick game here of the Dolphins schedule in regular season. They open up, and they will stay on the road. They play at the Raiders and will stay on the road and practice before they play the Niners, okay? If they lose to the Raiders, and no matter how many guys are injured for the Niners, we think San Francisco will win, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have the Chiefs at home and then play at Minnesota, okay? If you don't think they're going to win a road game, they could be 0-4, right? If they're 0-4, when do Dolphin fans just say blanket, tank for 27 quarterback class.
Mark, they're already there. You cannot look at this roster and that schedule and be like, this is going to be a 6-win team. You can't do it.
So it won't hit October, or maybe be early October.
We're not going to get
When
through
you turn
September.
the page and you're like, yeah.
We're not going to get through week 2 where they're like, oh, God, this is even worse than I thought. The Dolphins are going to be bad. Like close to Detroit Lions 0-16 or Cleveland Browns 0-16 bad.
Yeah, they scored 10 points in 2 preseason games, and
Jeff Hafley will not be there more than 2 years.
yeah, the one drive against the Commanders where they scored, okay? Against the Giants, they had like a drive and a half. And like that was it. Like, and they didn't play 4 offensive linemen, and it showed. I mean, the Giants, and then the Giants didn't play their starting defensive line much, and they lived in the backfield.
Mark, look at their schedule and tell me where they get 2 wins.
Well, the Jets games.
I think they split.
If they don't win at the Jets, I don't know what road game.
They're not winning a road game.
Unless by the time they get to Indy, Daniel Jones is hurt. And it's Riley Leonard or Anthony Richardson.
Still better than anything the Dolphins have.
I don't know where else they win a road game.
They don't win a
They're
road
not going
game.
to Green Bay December 20th.
They're not winning a road game, Mark.
They're not going to New England January 10th and winning. Wow.
So again, what is their record?
When you, I mean, there's always one you kind of steal, but I do have a hard time now seeing a 4th win. Yeah, you might be right. All right. Come back. We'll put a wrap on the Monday show next.
trends, and off-the-wall stories. Trends.
That's the craziest thing I ever heard.
Aaron Filios, the Gator quarterback, the Georgia Tech transfer, named today by the Gator head coach. Deshaun Watson is the Cleveland Browns starting quarterback. Chris will not be buying a Shooter Sanders jersey for the upcoming season. He was hoping to see if he'd be a starter. Hold up your tattoo, Chris, one more time. Chris got some ink this past weekend. Look at that. Yeah. That's a Cowboy star there, huh?
Right.
Well, maybe they can remove that thing in another few months and so forth. Don't worry about that.
Hey, 36 years I've been cheering for him.
Max Johnson's going to be a starting quarterback in Georgia Southern. It's his 7th year of college football. His 7th year of college football. Yeah. He can't walk. I mean, he has no cartilage in either knee anymore, but he's playing his 7th year of college football.
What about the 47-year-old pastor?
Where was that at?
San Jose Community College.
Okay.
A 47-year-old, what are we doing?
Let's pray for him. If you miss any of today's program, go where you get your favorite podcast. Time for the Beat of Sports on Demand. Access the show and subscribe. Get it downloaded. Listen when it's convenient for you. Go watch the video stream back on our YouTube page, 96.9 The Game Orlando. See you, Chris.
See you, Mark.
Chris produced all Marc Daniels, the Beat of Sports.